I'm Draco Self-Important, and I think you should listen to me. Oh my. Well, kids, here we are. Oh, Jesus, I have this set up in a way that's just ridiculous. Whatever. I'm a spider right now, just so we're all clear. Just in case anyone's like, what in God's name is he wearing? This was my Halloween costume, because the baby wanted to be a spider this year, so she had a cute little, like, jumping spider poncho thing. And this bad boy, which is like a full ass comfy pajamas onesie, was on the fucking Walmart, because of course I'm broke. Where else am I shopping? There's no ethical consumption under capitalism. I don't know what to tell you. But it was like 30 bucks, and it's got attached legs. It's about as anatomically correct as you're going to get in a onesie shaped like a human that is supposed to be a spider. It makes me happy. So just to address that right off the jump, I'm a spider. Um, there's little mittens too for the hands. Uh, Dude. So what brings me here today as your spider friend? I do really miss Stanley. We all should. Anyway, I got my first troll. We'll go with troll. Hater, hate comment, whatever. Um, I have like no actual like viewers or subscribers or anything, so I'm like, ooh, engagement, yay! Um, I used to, oh, excuse me, spend entirely too much time on Facebook arguing with strangers over my very existence. Um, I don't know if like you're aware of this, but there's political genocide happening. I'm not being hyperbolic. They literally said I can't remember the fucking Republican dude who stood on a fucking stage with cameras to go out to the entire world saying we need to eradicate transgenderism. First of all, anyone who uses the term transgenderism is suspect. Not everyone is necessarily a problem. Some people are just uninformed. That's perfectly reasonable. You have to start learning somewhere. But if this is the first time you're hearing that term is problematic, it is. Transgenderism, it's not an ism, it's not an ideology, it's not a philosophy, man. It's like just a thing that is. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's, like, there have always been men, there have always been women, there have always been intersex people, and there have always been people some fucking place bloody in between all of those things. And, like, it just is what it is. Go look at it historically. At some point, I might do something, but honestly, there are plenty of videos out there done by way, way, way better creators. Um, oh gosh, what is her name? Cats, I think. Shit, if I can remember, I'll put it in the description. Um, but there's a creator who I'm thinking of. I literally have a phone in my hand. I can just look it up like a big boy. We're gonna see if it is in fact cats. No, I think I made that up. No. I'm gonna spend about 3 seconds looking for this and then move on, because if I literally don't know the name, going through my bajillion subscribed channels looking for a thumbnail picture to recognize and be like, ooh, because they haven't posted anything super recently. And yeah, no, it's not. Whatever. If I find it later, I'll put it in here. But the thing that I do want to address is on my video from, when was this? 2 days ago, apparently. T-slur tales. How did I know I was trans? Just FYI, if I struggle reading things, it's because I struggle reading things. Like, that's, yeah, I'm, uh, the dyslexia is real. What can I say, bro? Like, if you type things in all capitals, it just looks like squares to me. I read by shape. It's a fascinating phenomenon. But yeah, so just note that I will struggle to read, and you'll either get over it or cringe every time. I don't know. So 2 days ago, last night, I got a comment that started me on a back and forth of a dozen-ish comments. I think one of the dozen in here was from someone else going, "You don't have to listen to this guy." I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, uh, I'm engaging like intentionally because I want to farm the engagement, and I think that poking the bear is fun. And also, if you're going to be shitty to me, then I see no reason to not push back. I'm not here to let people abuse me. uh, I am here to be amused, and if things, ever got to a point that I was uncomfortable, blocking is a thing. But at this point, no one is blocked from my end, and I have, no intention unless shit goes real fucking sideways. But this gentleman, I'm assuming gentleman, I'm presuming the gender based on the username, which is Brock Reynolds 870. Uh, the reason it took you so long is because years ago, the world still had some common sense, and in general, people didn't have this asinine idea in their heads that societally constructed gender stereotypes define your biological sex. Now, I'm going to take this whole dissection as an opportunity to talk about a whole lot of things. We're going to start with the fact that I am well aware of what my biological sex is. I am well aware of what my biology is, and that my gender and my biological sex are not the same thing. And I don't actually think that one informs the other all that much. It definitely does for lots and lots of other people. I would say the majority of other people. But here I am. Um, the other thing that I would address is that other than testosterone, I've done nothing medically. I've had 0 surgeries. I am an intact boy, if you will. Any changes, I grew myself. Which is fascinating, and they, like, who do they not tell you? They just don't tell you, man. um, I'm hemming and hawing about surgeries mostly just for cosmetic reasons, but like I also, before realizing I was trans, was hemming and hawing about things like trying to get boob jobs and tummy tucks to try to fit into the feminine standard when I was trying so desperately hard to be that guy, as it were. Uh, so like cosmetic surgery is not something that I think, like, lots of people get cosmetic surgery, and quite frankly, the rates of cosmetic surgery that are not related to gender are way higher. It's like a 1% regret rate for trans related medical procedures versus like 25% or something in plastic surgery, like cosmetic, not, you know, reconstructive surgery necessary, whatever. But, but like, ain't nobody haranguing about that. And, yeah. So I respond, homie, my gender doesn't define my biological sex. You said that, not me. My biology defines my biological sex. To which Brock Reynolds 870 replies, I didn't say your gender, I said society's gender stereotypes. For instance, you keep referring to cutting your hair short as dude mode, quotes, a societal stereotype. Was Mia Farrow in dude mode when she starred in Rosemary's Baby? I would just like to call out right now that it was at this point that I believed that I was talking to someone old enough to be my father, because how long ago did Rosemary's Baby come out, and that's the go-to short hair famous woman that you go with? Okay, boomer. So I know where you're coming from there. Um, and when we get into the story later, you confirm this for me, so thank you for that. I respond, I was referring to my own life stages. Not everyone with short hair and cargo shorts. Great that you don't get subtext, but that doesn't negate the fact that trans people, in one form or another, have existed throughout history, nor that there are innumerable peer-reviewed studies in current medicine. I don't care about your opinion or the religion that most likely informs it. I feel bad for bigots because they make others feel small to try to feel big. Maybe some therapy, sweetheart. I was going to call him Sweaty, but I assumed he was too old and too not in the community to get the joke. So I went with Sweetheart because I wanted to have it actually conveyed that I was being condescending, not just conveyed to other people who might read it. Because, boy howdy, yeah, I have zero respect for people like this. None. Because he starts this with your asinine ideas and blah 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 blah. Like, clearly he starts this shit with an insult, right? So let's just keep that in mind as we go along here. So what informs me is that I do not like to see people hate their own bodies and have a huge problem with cult-like cultures that causes this to happen, all based on gender nonconformity. Bro, I don't hate my body. The only reason that I have considered getting top surgery at all, which at this point I'm pretty solid on the fact that I'm not going to, is because of how other fucking people perceive me and treat me, and other people refuse to give me the common decency and respect of saying he instead of she. Whew, so fucking scary for you, I know. Fucking terrifying for you to have to deny your reality. Oh. Eat a bag of dicks, dude. Seriously. It's absolutely just like, yeah. So, apparently I'm in a cult now, which, P.S., to be fair, there was that one time, I mean, you know, no, I cannot legally call them a cult. Others have. So I would say that I've never been in a cult, but other people have called a particular religious organization that I was in a cult before. So, like, I don't, you can judge that one on your own. But like, I wasn't recruited, dude. I'm a middle-aged man. I'm a middle-aged man who sat back for years and didn't understand why I felt so wrong. Like, bro, like, I digress. Getting back to the I don't hate my body of it all. When I initially went on testosterone, just wanted to make some like slight changes. Like, I'm sorry, but there are so many cis men in this country, especially older cis men, hello Joe Rogan, who are on testosterone replacement therapy right now, taking the literal same medications that I am, because their body doesn't produce enough of the correct hormone, and so they don't feel right. They don't feel, you know, themselves, right? That's usually why, like, people, you know, sometimes people will do it because they want to continue to look jacked when they're 65 or whatever. Fine, you do you, broski. But most people who get hormone replacement therapy when they're older do it to feel better. You know, you might do it for sexual reasons. You might do it because you feel a little foggy in the brain. People get estrogen replacement therapy too. People get hormones replaced when their body doesn't produce those hormones. That's like diabetes, right? Like, your pancreas doesn't make the, so you got to get the insulin. That's a hormone replacement as well. So, like, I'm taking prescribed medication that I have to go to regular check-ins, have regular monitoring. Like, I've seen multiple providers because I go at this point to Planned Parenthood to get my hormones. So, like, I've been through a bunch of people. They ask the questions every single goddamn time. There's not a single time that I've gone to get any kind of trans related medical care that I didn't have some people going, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" Because if you're going to do something that can make permanent changes to your body, yeah, people want to know. Now, I like the changes that have happened. My face looks a little more like this, a little less squishy, a little whatever. I like the changes in distribution of body fat. I like that I have a dick big enough to do shit with that I sprouted from a couple of years ago. Cool, dude. Like, that was not what I expected when they said enlarged clitoris, friend. I did not expect some shit that looks and functions like a teeny little penis. Like, cool, greatest surprise of the testosterone lottery. I really hope that that didn't, like, horribly surprise some non-binary person who was not looking for that, you know? Like, uh, I digress. So, like, yeah, my body has changed. I would not say that's because I hated my body. I hated the way other people perceived me. Most of my wanting to change my body was so that other people would see me in the way that I see me. It's so that I can make everyone else treat me like a person. Because if I look more like, then maybe, right? Like, which is why I no longer want top surgery. Because, not for nothing, and my love of my body, oh my god, my nipples are the fucking best. The thought ever that I would get rid of them is absolutely insane, and the only reason that I would have done that was because of people not treating me the way I want to be treated. Like, it's not about me hating my body and wanting to make it conform to societal gender norms because I give a shit about societal gender norms. It's so that I can go out in public and not get treated like less than human. Because when I stopped giving a shit, because I realized that no matter how much I would bind, it did not make a difference. People still clocked me as a woman and still called me she everywhere I fucking went. So, fuck it. Why am I going to make myself uncomfortable for this? And, then I was like, I'll just wait until I get the surgery. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, why? Why in God's name would you have them? Like, this is not what you want. And it's like, it's my job as the person asking for these things to do that sort of thinking first. And I can assure you, because of how long it takes to get approved for these procedures to begin with, let alone to get them scheduled once you are approved, that everyone has time to have these thoughts. Like, the amount of people who detransition is nominal, and I hate to break it to you, man, but a lot of those people detransition out of societal pressure, not because they're not actually trans. And quite a few of them end up transitioning again later in life. Caitlyn Jenner started to transition in like the 80s, started taking estrogen. Maybe it was the 90s. It was when I was a child. You can find old pictures from before she was Caitlyn Jenner of the first time she started to transition. And then she detransitioned too. And now look at her, Republican goddess that she is. Never mind the vehicular homicide. Let's not. Shh. Republican goddess. I don't like her as a person. Uh, and I think that her pick me, I'm still a Republican, please still treat me like a white man of it all is just the dumbest shit in the universe because she wants to maintain the patriarchal privilege that she lived with for most of her life. And it's like, can you please stop being like the worst kind of person? Like, I'm sorry, like, can you just can you just can you just can you just be an empathetic human being who gives a shit about anyone other than yourself. Could you? Maybe, because, lady, I don't think you can. Um, but I digress. She is like the trans woman that everyone knows who she is, and she detransitioned at some point. There's a whole goddamn, like, the biography that came out when she did that Vanity Fair cover in like 2014, 2015, whatever. Like, that is where I learned this information. This is, but like, I didn't. She talked about it. So like, it's only 1% of people, and some of those people end up going back to being trans anyway. So like, who is the problem here? Like, what cult? What am I getting out of this, dude? What am I getting? I do not have a bunch of like internet friends who are all like trans and gay, and no, I don't have like, I have isolated myself from everyone because I hate every time someone fucking misgenders me. Like, when it happens on the internet, I don't like, what the fuck ever. I don't know you. But when it's someone in my actual life, when it's someone who I've been friends with for years, sometimes decades, and to have them call me she to someone else while I'm in the room, it fucking, it's like tearing my little heart out in the moment. It's just, I'm the sort of person who feels emotional pain as physical pain. It literally hurts me. And so I avoid people because I avoid that. And like, I'm at this point, I don't like work and shit. So like, I just have not had the opportunity to go out and like make new friends. But I'm not getting anything out of this. What cult? What would be the benefit? Who has talked me into this? No, I saw porn with fucking Buck Angel like a decade ago, which also fucking problematic as a motherfucker. Oh my god, trans medicalist fuck. I would bet he would say I'm not a trans man because I don't want to get my tits chopped off. But I digress. I saw this super cut, very masculine, bald, not because he shaved, because he couldn't, fucking male pattern baldness, fucking bald, and then shaved it. Bald guy, beard, fucking pussy. Like, bro, it was a goddamn revelation that this was an option. Because bottom surgery for dudes, not the best. It's getting better, but it's still not ideal, and it's just, I'm not a fan. The technology has not come anywhere near as well as it has to go the other direction. But to be fair, the other direction, you've got a lot more material to work with. So it makes more sense that that would be an easier thing to build. Digression, digression, digression. The point being, I don't have a fucking problem with my body. I have had zero issue finding sexual partners who have had no fucking problem with my body. Bisexual dudes are my bread and butter. Like, I dated some ladies. Like, I do. Like, here's the thing, man. God, women are hot. Like, women are sexy little creatures. But I'm my brain no worky. It doesn't. I have the only time I was ever in love with a woman, it was an accident. Like, and I say that because I didn't know she was a woman, so I didn't found it, and it's not like when I found that out, like we stayed together for like, I don't know, like 2 years after that or something, like, sorry, it was really hot with this thing zipped the whole way. I'm not gonna like get naked or anything weird. Um, oh yeah, because I turned the heater on because it's like, I didn't wanna, but it's just slightly too cold in here, and yeah. We may take a brief intermission for me to go turn that off in a minute here because I'm going to have to stop this and restart a part two because I'm still using the old phone because I don't know where half of my laptop charger is really the moral of the story. Um, yeah. So, anyway, let's get back to uh, me hating my body because I want to conform to gender norms, and how his pointing out to me that my wanting to conform with gender norms is somehow like my problem. I don't. Man. To which I said, "You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, nor do you actually care to learn. You've made up your mind to harass me, and there isn't a thing I could say to make you accept me. If you actually cared, you wouldn't be going out of your way to try to convince me I'm unhappy. You're a bigot and a bully, and your life must be awful. Maybe make some changes so you don't behave like this with strangers on the internet, bro. Jesus, you're pitiful." Um, Sorry, man. If you go out of your way to pick on strangers who have not engaged with you, then eat a bag of dicks. Like I don't know what to tell you, man. Like it just it I don't know what kind of people would behave like this, man. To which he responds, "If you loved yourself, you wouldn't trying to transition to something else. How exactly is wanting you to love yourself bigoted?" To which I respond, "I love myself enough to seek appropriate care. You're trying to get me to deny science. Hate to be the one to break it to you, but your experience in life doesn't inform everyone else's reality. You want me to take the advice of a faceless bro on the internet instead of multiple medical professionals. Man, should I stop taking my other medications too? Because that would be more natural to the state of my biology. I'd probably die. You know, the rates of trans suicide, it's because of people like you. When I'm alone, I'm perfectly happy, but defending my very existence to bigots on the internet can be pretty stressful. You sure you're concerned about my happiness?" So, he responds to this, and that's where we're going to pick up on the part two, because his response is long and very clearly shows that he's confused about what he's mad at. Maybe I'm also confused about what he's mad at because he goes back and forth on the things that he's mad at. Um, but yeah, we will address his prejudices that he explains and why he thinks that that should inform his opinion about trans people somehow, his experience in 1976. Can't wait. Can't wait to hear about it, right? Right? It actually is really funny, and I'll talk about other stuff. I'll see you guys in a bit.